He puts a book down in front of me, which is called Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Right by the Break into Light and David Hockney, they came and placed it on top. I was like, are you actually for real? This is ridiculous. I'm queuing up to pay for something, and I notice A, that there's Star Wars, B, that there's David Lynch, C, that there's cats. Cats have been a big theme as well. There's the light bulb that goes off for here, the light bulb that goes on. Emoji love here. So one of the last messages that I sent to him was about emojis, because I always get them wrong, and he was like laughing at me. So the emoji book. Not only that, but look what's here. Draw my life. How to be happy. All of these things right in one little space. Clear. All about creating the life of your dreams. You know, do what you want for your life. Be here now, in the moment. All by all of these scenes. Like beat the dark and go into the light. So then I see this book, which is about this dude called Mark Ruffalo. He actually reminds me of my twin. So I was like, oh, look at there. He just reminds me of him. I'm reading, and he is basically, as you probably know, he's an actor. But I think he went through a hard time, had difficulty with drugs and stuff. But now he's campaigning as an activist. And he is an activist for... I think about, doing good for a green environment and, against Trump and all this stuff. So I was like, oh my God, that's just too cool. By the way, the reason why I was drawn to it is because these two were right next to each other, right? Also, the fact that the magazine is called So It Goes. And, one of the things is about as above, so below. That you have to just let things go. Like, so it goes is like, let the ebb and flow of life carry you. So we have these, then we carry on, and there's a lion, there's a frog, there's a red balloon. I see red balloons in people's healings quite a lot, because that's something that's just come through. So hang on, I hope this, I then see, this is just ridiculous. There's a duck, there's a fox, there's the lion and the fox, there's bears, there's everything. It's the fact that it's all in one space, right? So no sooner as I'm moving my head, then there's the elephants and the ducks. Elephants has been a key feature because of the pink elephant with Marilyn Monroe. Oh my God. Then there's the Alice in Wonderland book and the outfoxed by the forest, by the boat in the ocean. And then underneath here, I love you always with balloon. So all of these in the same section, on the same thing. I was just like, this is ridiculous. I then go into a shop. The shop after this is another shop that's just along the road. I'm just like, this is crazy. I've been saying about the golden thread that we're all piecing together. So this is a world map, and you cross stitch it. And you'll record your travels in a gold thread, right? On the name of it is called Adventure Awaits. So I was like, this is ridiculous. I have sent my twin a card saying Adventure Awaits. And basically just the fact that it had the golden thread and we're sewing it all together. Again, piecing together an amazing map. Right, so this is then I'm in the shop. So the first thing I see is this red and white picnic blanket, because I've seen that in people's healings. It's by an egg cup. The egg cup has been a symbol because the eggs, you're carrying the golden egg, and when you're in the golden egg, then the yin and yang, it's the perfect blend of male female within the egg. You're birthing basically the egg. On the egg, I've just been reading about sacred sexuality. There is a yoni egg, which you can get out of rose quartz, which basically when you insert it into you as a female, then it basically stimulates your sacred sexuality. So I'm going to put a link into the description box, because it's another way of creating your sacred sexuality, working your tantra, and letting your sexual energies basically go into healing everything and creating abundance and all of that in your life. Whilst obviously giving you, pleasure and, sexual ecstasy and everything. And what was interesting is that came up in my YouTube feed yesterday, and I've been reading Mary Magdalene's book on Sublime Union, which is all about sacred sexuality and how to basically do certain meditations and working tantric energies to really, really create that energy within yourself and then with your partner. So, you know, again, it's just, you know, the universe giving you more things to say, okay, this is your path you need to take now. So I'm going to put that link in because I'm certainly going to be buying one. So it may be useful for you. Okay. So then I look because there is a 3D crocodile here. So there's a 3D crocodile and then I'm like, shut up. Then there's umbrellas. Umbrellas are a feature as well. Not only that, but there's a butterfly umbrella, right? So, and there's a color changing umbrella here. So I'm like, oh my God, it's just too, you know, it's the fact that it's all right next to each other, one after the other, after the other. Then we carry on. On the next shelf, there is a set of ducks, and this is a wood board that you can carve in your own messages, right? On a piece of wood. Now, at the same time as this, a divine masculine who I'd done a healing for sent me an email, and he was saying about my healing, and he said there's just so many signs. Basically, where he lives, he feeds the ducks every day, and also the name that he lives in has both forest and wood included in the address. And of course, the crystal grid is based all around the forest lovers in the heart of the crystal grid. So then, as I'm reading his email, I look up and I see a set of ducks by a carved wood sign with love on it. So I'm like, oh my God. I carry on. Next to me, I turn to my right and there's boxing gloves. Now, Rocky has been a theme because what does Rocky do? He runs up to the top of the thing. He says, Adrian, I love you. And he wins, right? He gets it. Carry on. There's now a blue robot. Now, the thing about that is somebody had sent me an email about robots just that morning. So I was like, I can't remember what the link was about that. But anyway, somebody had just sent me about robots. Then I see the bunny light. I've said before that I see bunnies a lot in healings because it's when the healing's over, the bunny comes in and says, right, that's all, folks. So the fact that it's a light as well is just perfect because we are raising the light and raising the light in your heart. What the healing does is basically it allows you to step out of your shadow and into more and more light. Then next to this, there is a duck tape dispenser. I mean, this is for sellotape and there's a quack sellotape. I'm like, are you actually just joking me? Next to that, there is a light bulb brick. Now, the point about this is the fact that it's a light bulb brick is just amazing because the exhibition that I was going to was the DC Brick Lego exhibition, which again is all about superheroes, raising your light, be that glow in the dark, right? So the fact that this is, I mean, you know, you just can't make these things up. Next to that, there is the love hearts, which have the inked stamps. Now, this is just bonkers, but basically the guy sorry, this is so, but it's just one thing after the next, after the next. So the guy that was saying that I'd done the healing for, he then sends me an email afterwards saying, by the way, I'm a tattooist and I have done a tattoo of Wonder Woman. Now, this then is inked stamps, right? So what does ink do? Well, inking, you know, it's another word for tattooing, isn't it? Inking. So this is love hearts. This also has been somebody else's message because they've sent me this when their child gave them some love hearts. So I was like, this is just insane. Next thing, King and Queen hook. Obviously Peter, Pan, Tinkerbell. And then we got King and Queen hooks coming into your King and Queen power. Oh my God, then there was the wooden rockets, right? The rockets, we are going into space, into flying up to the moon energies, everything. The fact that they are wooden rockets, again, the trees being a massive, you know, a huge thing because we're basically grounding the energies of as above, so below. Then there were the colour changing umbrellas because this is all on just one shelf. I mean, it's not like this is not a big shop. This is like literally in a very small shop. So then I'm walking out and I noticed that there is this gun flower holder. I actually noticed the roses at the first and the dog because the dog is unconditional love and the roses. And I was like, oh my God, that's so nice. Another little message. But then I noticed that the vase is actually a gun. Now, the place that I'm at, so The place that I first ever met my twin was a pub called The Rose, which has now changed its name to the Watson, which is obviously Sherlock Holmes and Watson, and we've been saying about the detectives. Now, that's the first pub that I used to meet him in. More recently, when I got in contact with him again, the pub that we have met near is called The Gun. So I'm like, shut up. So we have The Rose and The Gun, basically the two places that I meet my twin in one vase, basically. Just, you know, surreal again, just surreal. Then this is the name of it, because I'm like, it is inspired by peace. It is a gun vase holding a rose. The rose is white, the symbol of truth, the symbol of purity, the symbol of love. And the fact that I took a picture because it says it's inspired by peace, which is exactly, again, what we're doing as twin flames. This one I took because I thought this is for us. This is on the way out of the shop and it says Nutcracker. And I'm like, you know what? You couldn't put that more perfectly, because as I walked into that shop, I was like, okay, am I actually going fucking crackers? Because every single thing I look at is a message for somebody that I've done healing for, or has been a sign, or has been something. And I literally was in the shop for 2 minutes just walking around, taking more and more pictures and thinking, actually, I need to get out of here because this is just too much. I'm like losing am I actually going insane? So I took this because it was Nutcracker. It doesn't end. As I'm walking out, I notice that there's a book in a glass case, and it is a book about New York. In it, it's talking about the Chelsea Harbour, and also all of the areas that I lived at, basically. I lived in meatpacking and right by the High Line. And so they started talking about that, and that's what it says, basically. This whole thing is a diary entry about where I lived. So I was like, shut up. Okay, so this is just so funny. At this point, I just couldn't stop laughing. So I was like, people obviously just must have thought I was mad. So I walk out of the shop, and in the window, I noticed that there is a cat coming out of a fire engine. Now, a long time ago, I can't remember time, but basically I did a healing for a woman where she was saved by her twin out of a fire. And I saw her being saved by her twin out of the fire, and he came and brought her out onto the lawn. And when she came back to me, she said, no way, that I did have a fire and my twin has carried me across my lawn, and there was something about a cat as well. So I'm like, oh my God. Well, you couldn't get more of a message than that. Basically, there's a cat driving a fire engine. I mean, just seriously, just brilliant. This really made me laugh, because in the window next to that, there's a cat on a record. And because, you know, so many of our messages are coming through from songs and music and everything. So the fact that it's a cat on top of a record player, I mean, again, just brilliant, because the cat is very much the sign of, you know, divine masculine or your twin, right? So I was just like, okay, that's brilliant. So then after that, I get into... So I leave that place, and then I go to the... Sorry. So then I go to the exhibition, right? So I go to the exhibition, and the first thing they have, like, the dude talking in a video. I walk through, and then there's this, like, thing, and it's basically bursting out and to be your inner self, right? Letting your inner self shine and not be shackled by your shadow and everything that you've put around you. So this is exactly what we're doing, right, as twin flames. You're